Hi there. As a person who was diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome many years ago and recovered, and as a person who probably had COVID-19 back in January 2020, I want to discuss the links between what is now being called long COVID and chronic fatigue syndrome, or ME. If you subscribe to this channel, you'll know that I have recently released a course that will help people to get on the path to recovery from chronic fatigue syndrome. What you may not know is that in January 2020 I developed a virus with a continual cough, a high temperature, which went on for ages, and which I now believe to have been a mild case of COVID-19. I recovered within a few weeks, but as the year went by, and ironically while I was writing my CFS recovery course, I realised that my chronic fatigue symptoms were getting worse again. Over recent months, not only was I feeling more fatigued and experiencing more crashes again, I have also developed muscle pain after even the slightest physical activity. Now, as I've previously recovered from chronic fatigue syndrome, and I've written a whole course on how to recover, I am very aware of what I need to do to get back to where I was a year ago. I've taken my regular exercise activities back to an absolute minimum, and following my own advice, I am finding that I am once again getting back to feeling normal on most days. But I am very aware that there are many people who have recovered from COVID-19 who are now experiencing chronic fatigue symptoms that are totally new to them. It's being called long COVID, and it's not just people who have had severe cases of COVID. Many people who only suffered the mild acute COVID, like me, are now getting the chronic fatigue and fibro symptoms that can be completely devastating if you are used to being regularly active. Now, I can't categorically say whether long COVID is or isn't the same as chronic fatigue syndrome or ME, but I do know that the links between the two are certainly being recognised as very similar, and that there is some research going on into this. And hopefully this will encourage even more research into chronic fatigue itself, which has been pretty minimal up until now. We know that chronic fatigue syndrome is usually triggered by a virus, and the main symptoms are debilitating fatigue, insomnia, muscle pain and brain fog, as well as many others. Now, when we look at the symptoms of long COVID, they seem to be exactly the same, triggered by the virus, fatigue, insomnia, muscle pain and brain fog. So, go figure. So while people are still learning about long COVID, it would certainly seem sensible in the meanwhile to approach it in the same way that it is necessary to approach chronic fatigue. And that is to focus on body awareness and to do what your body needs. That is, rest when you're tired. Use strategies to help with sleep quality, be gentle with yourself and practice other health strategies such as mindfulness, relaxation, a balanced diet, and extremely gentle, low impact exercise such as low intensity yoga. It is also important that you discuss your symptoms with a doctor who may want to take blood tests to make sure there is nothing else that could be causing your symptoms. If your blood tests are clear, then you can begin to make some changes that will gently and gradually get you back into more normal health. There is, of course, my own 8-week course which gives you daily steps over the course of 2 months to get you on the path to recovery, and which is currently at a massive 90% discount until the middle of November 2020. Or you can investigate further into the symptoms of chronic fatigue and make up your own mind how best to proceed. I've attached links to my course, my Facebook page and my website below. And if you are suffering from the devastating symptoms of chronic fatigue and or long COVID, I just want you to know that while it may currently feel that things will never get better, recovery is absolutely possible. I know that. I know other people who know that and have been there and recovered too. But you do need to be patient with yourself and look after yourself. Now, please feel free to ask me any questions about my course. And in the meantime, I wish you all the best for your return to health. Cheers for now.